He's dead. The man is fucking dead. At the end of the day, it's time for everybody to get over it because he himself stated out of his own mouth, he doesn't believe in empathy. He doesn't care for sympathy or whatever. So why the fuck is this government and the news media coverage giving him that? Why are we giving him all of this airtime? Was it good that he got assassinated? No. Does the perpetrator deserve to face the consequences behind his actions? Yes. But at the end of the day, this man was not a good fucking man. Charlie Kirk was a racist, small-minded, pretentious, condescending prick that literally died behind the very harmful rhetoric that he spewed. So rest in pieces. I don't know. And I'm not speaking from a place where I wish death on anybody, but when you are a person that has the influence of influencing the American people, the American youth, and you're choosing to spew harmful rhetoric, you got to be taken out. And at the end of the day, that's what fucking happened. Well, my problem is now the government is using this moment as a distracting mechanism. Like every fucking channel is talking about this man as if we really think that he was a good person. At the end of the day, yes, you guys have a job to do. Go and find the fucking perpetrator. And that's the only thing that you need to be doing. That's the only update that we need to be hearing about this fucking case. I don't give a damn about this man's backstory. I don't give a damn about none of that because all of that fucking energy could be used on reporting actual fucking news to the American people. Like what the fuck happened in Colorado with that school shooting, which was the same exact fucking time as this man getting assassinated. 3 children are injured. Why the fuck aren't we hearing about that? Sorry, correction. 2 students are injured and 1 is dead. 1 person is dead. Why the fuck isn't the news covering that? Why isn't that on the news? I don't care about Charlie Kirk. I don't give a damn. Or why aren't you reporting that CBS literally just announced that the consumer price index rose 2.9% in August, meaning everything is getting fucking expensive in this fucking country. Okay? Every fucking thing, groceries, furniture, everything. Why aren't you talking about that? That we're literally dealing with inflation, that a lot of the American citizens are scared of the economy collapsing. And I'm not talking on my ass. Inflation is creeping higher with some Americans saying that they're squeezed and it's really fucking challenging. Yeah. Here's another article, CPI, which stands for Consumer Price Index. It rose in August and it keeps on going up. It keeps on going up. Why aren't we talking about this? Why aren't you informing the American people about this? CBS News even took a poll. They took a poll asking Americans what do they believe or think is the condition of the American economy, the U.S. economy. 55% believe that it's bad. It's bad, okay? And that number is going to continue to go up as long as everything else is going up. And it's all because of fucking Trump and his fucking tariffs. Why aren't we talking about that? And last but not fucking least, the Epstein files. Release the fucking files, Trump. Release the fucking files, Donald. I know that you're in there. I know that a lot of your buddies are in there. Release the fucking files. You think that this whole death with this man is supposed to distract everybody else from what the fuck is actually going on in this country? Like, how dumb do you think some of us are? I understand that you believe a lot of them are dumb. I get it. And you use that against them. You use their ignorance against them. That's them, though. That's them, though. And if you don't want what happened yesterday with your politicians and your activists, your conservative activists to continue to happen in this country, you better give us some fucking answers. Because that's what we care about. I don't care about this man, this racist ass man. Rest, like I said, God will deal with his fucking soul. Okay? To be honest, the only people that I care about as far as his family is the little girls. I don't give a damn about his wife. She knew who the fuck she married. It's them 2 little kids because at the end of the day, they're still innocent enough. They're still young enough to be innocent. Until they decide to grow up and spew the same bullshit that their parents were spewing, I'm gonna give them grace, okay? But everybody else in his family, I don't give a damn. They knew what the fuck that man was doing. Hell, he literally got shot speaking condescendingly on gun matters, like gun related matters. They literally were asking him, how many deaths do you think or how many gun violence acts happen in America? And he condescendingly picks up the mic and goes, we're not including gang violence, right? We're not including gang violence, right? Not including, and this shit hit his fucking bulletproof vest, ricocheted right into his neck. God has a plan for everything. Okay? We may not agree on how he decides to take out certain things or handle it, but that's the way that he decided to handle it. That was his journey. He made his bed. He lied in it now. Okay? They can go through with their funeral plans, all of that. But that doesn't need to be on the fucking news. I don't care. And a lot of people don't care. Okay? We don't care. What we care about is what the fuck is going on with the state of this economy. We care about our fucking rights. We care about our benefits being taken away. Okay, we care about the consumer index price rising on us, inflation kicking our fucking ass. All right, our paycheck not even being enough to even make it through the week. Okay, and the fucking Epstein files. We want all of these fucking perverted, corrupted politician, rich billionaire, all of them, they need to be fucking exposed. We need them out. Release the fucking files. Stop thinking that anybody's dumb with this little distraction tactic.
Hey everyone, welcome back to this channel. This video is a compilation of real reaction from TikTok and social media about the shocking death of Charlie Kirk. Video credit goes to the original creators of these clips. Stick around, we have more reactions coming and we will dive deeper into the discussion later. We are going to see mixed reactions and opinions and the bigger picture behind it all.
This is such bullshit! I've never been so pissed in my whole life! I just murdered Charlie Kirk right here in Utah! I'm so freaking pissed right now! This is bullshit! I just saw blood squirting out of his neck! I love that guy! He would have been our next president! I am so pissed right now! Why do they always come with fucking violence? Gosh damn it! Use your freaking words as they're talking to you people! Who shot Charlie Kirk? I'm driving down a Provo right now. I'm so pissed. Damn it!
Wait, sorry, are people actually feeling sorry for Charlie Kirk? The guy who made a career out of despising anyone that wasn't straight, white and male and encouraging other people to do what he was doing. I mean, look, feel free to feel empathy for him, but this is what the guy you're mourning thought about that.
I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that it does a lot of damage, but...
You know what else does damage, Charlie? No, we shouldn't go there. I mean, that being said, this is what Charlie said about people who lose their lives to guns in America.
I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal.
Yeah, that one worked out for him, didn't it? Look, spare us the faux sympathy and outrage that people aren't feeling remorseful that Charlie Kirk is no longer alive. He was evil. Charlie Kirk was pure evil. And the world is a better place without people like Charlie Kirk in it. And you can boo me for saying that. But deep down, you know that I'm right.
His wife and children were in attendance, dude. Imagine... You know, imagine being a 12-year-old, you know, watching your dad fucking die. Nobody deserves that. Not even Charlie Kirk.
I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that it does a lot of damage, but...
I'm supposed to have empathy for a motherfucker that doesn't believe in it. I'm supposed to have empathy for a person that demonized my people. A person who watched a black man get his neck kneeled down for 9 minutes. He had a daughter. But do you know what that man said about that man after he was deceased? And I'm supposed to have some empathy? You're telling me that my morals are compromised because I don't have empathy for a man who doesn't view me as an equal human being to him? A man that does not have sympathy for children being mowed down in schools, a man that does not have any sympathy for the women that are losing their reproductive health care and are set to lose more of their reproductive health care. This man literally said that he would force his daughter to have her rapist child, and I'm supposed to have some empathy that this man got taken out while spewing some more hateful rhetoric. Seriously? You can be against gun violence, right? You can acknowledge that no human being deserves to have their life taken away. Nobody does. But at the same time, stop telling people who are affected by the rhetoric that these people spew and individuals, because now that a lot of people who are saying that you should have some empathy, now there's finally somebody that looks like them that has been a victim of this. I've been having to watch my people get killed on camera as long as I can remember. Stop telling us to have empathy for a person that does not have empathy for us. That's not how that works. That's not how that works.
Right before Charlie Kirk got popped, someone asked him, "Do you know how many mass shootings have happened in America in the past 10 years? He replied, "Counting or not counting gang violence." Then pop, he was about to shift the blame for mass shootings on us. And now for some reason, 8 historically black colleges and universities are under threat. Campus lockdowns and all. All this because Charlie got popped in Utah, where the black population is 1.2%? What is it about whiteness that y'all can never blame yourselves? How did you come to the conclusion that you are as sinless as Christ himself? And now they want to put a statue of little Charlie in the U.S. Capitol, comparing him to the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Do you know what school little Charlie went to? That would give him the authority to speak on religion, to speak on race, to speak on politics. No, you don't. Because little Charlie dropped out of Harper College in Chicago. His first claim to fame was stopping a price increase on cookies at his high school. You can't make this up. Then he wrote an article for Breitbart, alleging liberal bias in textbooks. That affirmative action him in appearance on Fox Business. This is your king? Because the only one I know is Dr. King. PhD in systematic theology from Boston University. The one who wrote 5 books, who electrified the masses, and didn't have to cut his speeches into clips to do so. See, what y'all not gonna do is conflate these two legacies. Because Dr. King challenged America to live up to the democracy it claimed to be. Lil Charlie, he just repeated fascism, Christian fundamentalism, without critical thinking, might I add, misogyny, really anything that got him paid. America, not only are we not your scapegoat, you really don't even deserve to live in our shadows.
Is the gun okay? Is the gun okay? All right. Say that. Keep saying that. Say that in front of Charlie Kirk's wife, who just lost the center of her life and now has to explain to her toddler kids why dad isn't coming home and why dad had blood pouring out of his neck while they were watching his protest. Tell that to his kids, who just lost somebody who was supposed to be protecting them and watching over them for their entire lives as they grew up. Okay? Tell that to the people at his rally who were terrified at the sight of what they had just witnessed and were running for their lives scared. Okay? Tell that to everybody who looked up to Charlie Kirk. Tell that to anyone else. You're not in the right if you're going to be making fun of somebody for dying. I don't care how much distaste you had for them. I don't care what you disagreed with them on. You're not in the right. And to watch somebody die for their political opinions is kind of scary. It's very scary that we can't even have opinions anymore without getting killed. And then you're just going to mock him. Okay. I hope that one day your hearts will soften and that you'll realize that you were in the wrong for laughing at Charlie Kirk yesterday. God bless everybody. Stay safe.
Now let's take a moment to talk about this situation. Charlie assassinations left America deeply divided. On one side, many are mourning him as a husband, as a father, and as a leader who inspired his followers. On the other side, some people are refusing to show sympathy and empathy, pointing to the rhetoric that he spread. His position on race, gender, sexuality, and religion, and his controversial defense of guns rights is making people not to have sympathy, and people are not empathizing with the whole situation. Some are saying that the media and the government is glorifying him as a martyr while ignoring the issues like inflation and the case of the Epstein files and the scandals, and others believe that his death is being used by the government and the media as a political distraction to distract people from the real issues that are happening around the country. And then there are other people who are arguing that he should not be remembered at all because of the harm that he said and the harm that he has caused to the people that he was talking about, the issue of race and the issue of their sexuality. They are saying he should not be remembered because of the hurt that he caused to those communities. And there are other people who are saying that empathy is not an option and we should not sympathize with the whole situation. Now, this is my opinion. Regardless of how people are feeling about Charlie Kirk's politics, nobody should really go about assassinating him for his views. And violence is not an answer to the political disagreement, and people should never turn into bloodshed. And also, at the same time, we can acknowledge that his word and his action, it deeply hurt so many people and so many community. And the reality of the thing is that even if he's dead, it does not wipe away what he had said or what he had done about the various groups that he was despising. Despite everything, we should condemn killings, and we should also sympathize with his family, especially his wife, and also especially his kids, because they have been left hurt, because they have been left by a person they loved. Let's condemn killing and sympathize with his family, especially his wife and his children, and the loved one that he left behind.
They want us to humanize Charlie Kirk now that he's gone. But let's be real, he spent his entire life denying humanity to literally everyone else. So don't expect softness now. This man wasn't just a conservative talking head. He called the Civil Rights Act a mistake. He said Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson was nothing more than a DEI hire. He smeared Dr. King, mocked Black professionals, stoked fear of immigrants, and spent every breath turning white grievance into a brand. That's not political disagreement. That's a career built on stripping dignity away from entire groups of people. And here's the thing, right? The second he's gone, suddenly people want compassion. Suddenly it's about his family, his humanity, his legacy. Where was that energy when he was tearing ours down? When he was spitting on the humanity of Black people, Latinos, immigrants, queer folks? We're supposed to forget the damage because the man is dead? Death doesn't erase the harm. Death doesn't clean a record. And let's not pretend that that shot was sloppy rage. It was too clean. It was too sharp. Whoever did it knew exactly what they were doing. And the irony is that Charlie worshipped that same culture of guns and violence. He fed it. He amplified it. And it came back for him. That's not karma. That's America. So no, I'm not going to rewrite his story into something soft. The only sympathy that I have is for his children, because they didn't ask for his poison. But for Charlie Kirk, he made it his life's mission to divide, belittle, and dehumanize. And that's exactly how history should remember him. Not as a victim, not as a martyr, but as the hateful man that he chose to be. I think it's time to meet one of my puppies. This is Cooks. This is Cooks. Me Cookie. Aw, me Cookie. That's my boy. That's my boy.
I can't have empathy for someone like Charlie Kirk. First of all, Charlie Kirk don't believe in empathy. He said it's a bad thing. He said it's some new age made up. He also said people got to be sacrificed in order to protect guns. If he was saying that while fighting for reparations, I may have a little bit of empathy. But this white on white violence, he died? Damn, B. Life comes at you fast.
Did y'all expect anything different from somebody like an Amanda Seales? Did y'all, like, not popping, got a little bit of visibility as a result of Jubilee, is continuing to espouse hate, trying to act like she's intelligent, but is basically spewing the same talking points as everybody else when it comes to her whole take on Charlie Kirk and empathy, and not even having a full context so that she can have a more informed conversation with the people that she's having a conversation with. Let's hear some more.
I can't have empathy for someone like Charlie Kirk because I cannot be in his shoes. I have no frame of reference for that. I have no cognizance for that. There literally is nothing about his existence that I can relate to. So I don't have any empathy because I have no connectivity. I have more connectivity to someone who is a complete stranger that dies of a drug overdose than I do to someone like Charlie Kirk, because life is hard. And I understand that.
A lot of these people, they don't even have, the right frame of reference. They don't even really have a real argument when it comes to their thoughts. And I've seen this happen with multiple people who have passed away over the years since I've been a content creator. And I don't want to name any names because it's not necessary. It's the same playbook every single time. When people on the left that have liberal views, talking points, modern mentality against traditional ways, angry at the world, believes that the world owed them something, fumbled their own opportunities, but continue to blame the system for whatever it is that they're standing on, doesn't really have a leg to stand on, but continue to stand on that same leg, you're going to get the same rhetoric. It's going to be hate. It's going to be evil. And I've always took the stance of if somebody passed away, I don't really have anything to say about them, especially if I didn't really care for them. But we in a new age, and I don't think that it's left versus right. I think it's good versus evil, and I believe that they think that they are right, even though it comes from a place of hate. I truly believe that people like her, believe that they are right, even if it comes from a place of hate. They could say some of the most disparaging, hateful, evil, ugly things, and don't benefit from it, have not even an ounce of.
Well, Charlie Kirk is no longer with us, and he hasn't been for hours now. It's been confirmed. And I don't really know what I'm supposed to come on here and say. But the internet does. TikTok definitely does. As I don't have to scroll any farther to find a plethora of videos of people posting that they're rejoicing that Charlie Kirk was shot to the Broadway musical sound, Nobody Mourns the Wicked. In that song, there are lyrics that say, the wicked's lives are lonely and they will die alone and no one will miss them when they're gone. Do you know who will miss him? His 6-year-old daughter. Do you know who else I think will probably miss Charlie Kirk? Her younger brother. Do you know who I think is probably going to miss him most of all? His wife, who just an hour before he was shot posted a Bible verse. Psalms 46:1. God is our refuge and our strength, and we will find peace in him in times of trouble. I'm a believer. I believe in God. I am saved, and you know what? I still sit here sometimes and I wonder, why does God let bad things happen to good people? I don't know. Why did these awful things happen? And then I have to remind myself, God didn't let this happen. A gun didn't do this. An evil person with a horrible heart chose to do this, chose to end somebody else's life whose entire goal was to just allow people to have free speech. I want to sit on here and I want to say, guys, what's wrong with our country right now? We can't keep shooting at each other. But we're not shooting at each other. One side is shooting, and for some reason, it feels like we're just taking it. Every school shooter recently has all been trans or non-binary. The multiple attempts on the president's life were all politically motivated from Democrats. The killer of the CEO of the United Healthcare was also a Democrat, and now a politically motivated Democrat decided to end Charlie Kirk's life. Why? We don't know. I can only assume it's because he truly has a demon and hate in his heart that I just cannot fathom. What the hell is wrong with this country right now? I don't even know what to say other than I'm at a loss, and I can't imagine the extensive pain that his wife is going through right now. And I can't imagine his 2 kids growing up without their dad. And I am so sorry.
The hypocrisy of eulogizing and idolizing Charlie Kirk as a political martyr and political hero is staggering. The depth of gaslighting, untruths, the shameful opportunistic politicization of his assassination is a clear attempt to rewrite his history. Now, we know exactly who Charlie Kirk was, and there's no way on God's earth we're going to let you tell us what he was not. Charlie Kirk's legacy is a legacy of hate. He was a racist, white nationalist, white supremacist, anti-Muslim, Islamophobic, transphobic, Zionist bigot. And whatever my view of him is, doesn't change the fact that I find his assassination absolutely wrong. You know, multiple truths can coexist. First off, these hypocrites, his supporters, are manufacturing a crisis of war and using him as their symbol to go fight. Fight what exactly? Let me just say with my full chest that I am glad that it's not a black or immigrant that killed Charlie Kirk. Because you know it is a white person that killed him. You know that, right? If there had been a black or immigrant, that information would have leaked out a long time ago. And this whole apparatus of hate would have been targeted against the people who Charlie Kirk has spent his entire existence targeting. Let not the irony be lost on you that the same Charlie Kirk that pathologized black people as criminals and went on and on about black on black crime is now the face and symbol of white on white crime, which we all know is far worse than black on black crime. These same hypocrites tell us there is no place for political violence. I agree. But Charlie Kirk was politically violent. His language was politically violent. He supported gun violence and opposed gun control. The same person who said it is right for there to be a cost of gun deaths every year so that we can have the right to arms has now become the cost of gun violence he wanted other people to pay the price for. No political violence, you say, when Charlie Kirk endorsed and manufactured consent for Israel's genocide and political violence, crimes against humanity, against Palestinians every single day. These God-forsaken freedom of speech hypocrites are now hunting down people who are exercising their freedom of speech to either celebrate or quite frankly say they don't give a rat's ass that Charlie Kirk is dead. And these hypocrites are like, how dare you? You must lose your job and you must be punished. And I'm like, These hypocrites must be mad to demand that people extend humanity to Charlie Kirk, who never extended an ounce of humanity to people he targeted. So it is freedom of speech when Charlie Kirk said black people were better off during slavery, that black women lack processing skills, are only good at taking white people's slots. When he compared gay to drug addiction, called trans abomination, spewed anti-Muslim and Islamophobic hate, pushed white supremacist agenda against black and brown people, pushed white nationalist agenda against immigrants.
Charlie Kirk's death has led me to an uncomfortable conversation that I want to facilitate. To my white brothers and sisters, how would you hope your minority friends respond to the celebration of Charlie Kirk's life when he has very publicly said things like this?
I live like a capitalist every single day, Shank. I live as a capitalist.
Because of DEI, it begs the question when you see a black pilot, you wonder, you say, I hope they are qualified. If I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder, is she there because of her excellence? And Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously.
Refer to Asian individuals by the C word, a word too violent for me to even utter. Refer to Michelle Obama and Ketanji Brown Jackson of the Supreme Court, both Harvard graduates, as not having the brain processing power to be taken seriously. Suggested that if seeing a black pilot, would assume they were a DEI hire. To my white brothers and sisters, I'm genuinely asking, how would you like your minority friends to respond to the celebration of his life? Not to his death, but to the celebration of his life.
I was taught that if you don't have anything positive to say, keep your mouth shut. I was going to take that fucking approach, but nothing's off limits, so fuck it. Charlie Kirk was assassinated yesterday. First of all, I want to say I do not condone violence, and I don't wish death on anyone. But bullets do not discriminate. And if you're going to preach hate and you're going to rile up people and it's going to be a political device to sit up here and divide this country, you can't sit up here and act like this shit don't work both ways. He was the one that said some deaths are necessary to keep our Second Amendment. How fucking ironic. He was the one that preached black on black crime. I'm pretty sure it was probably white on white crime, and it was in Utah. Like a boomerang. You throw it and it comes back at you. You can't be putting out things that are negative and expect not to be affected only in a positive way. Everything comes back at you sooner or later. There's no fucking immunity.
I am so sick of the bullshit, hypocrisy, and lies. You want to hear a load of crap? Let's take a listen to this.
Isn't a fundamental part of being an American that we are able to express our opinions to each other without fear, without this kind of horror happening? And it seems to be something we have been seeing more and more of. And it's not even left or right. It's just people being taken out because of their beliefs or their thoughts.
Seriously, Whoopi? Because I can't even count how many times you berated people on your show, The View, for having a different view than your view. Two to come to mind are Judge Jeanine Pirro. You berated her so much in the past, she had to leave the show. And Don Jr., I seen you berate him. You berated Trump over the years, his supporters over the years. Sonny Hostin had to come out and apologize for spewing false shit on The View. She actually had to come out and apologize. So now you're saying, it don't matter if you're left or right. We got to stop the political violence. Everybody should have a right to speak freely. But if somebody comes on your show and disagrees with you, you berate them. Cut the crap.
How did you honestly expect people to react to Charlie Kirk passing away? Because the fact that y'all are so surprised and disgusted by people being celebratory in him passing away is like mind-boggling to me. Now, while I don't condone in celebrating the loss of human life, I still have my humanity and morality left in me, unlike a lot of people. But we're talking about a man who was disgustingly divisive in a country that's already scarily divided. A man who has really ignorant, toxic ideologies and beliefs and views. And this isn't to be political at all, but genuinely curious, what did you expect the reaction to be? Now, you'll never see me crack jokes or make fun of someone losing their life, but we literally live in a time that is everyone is so desensitized. And we see that with the Irina Zarutsky, and I know I'm saying that wrong, but in her situation where she got the lady who got stabbed on the bus, people watched that happen and got up and walked away like they didn't see nothing. Even people who were at this little rally that Charlie Kirk was at, they were more focused on getting content of what happened versus actually acknowledging what happened. When Luigi killed the CEO, that was jokes all over the internet. When it came out that Trump had a little spot on his hand, people were celebrating that he may pass away at any given moment and still are hoping for that outcome. So with Charlie Kirk being one of Trump's biggest supporters, what did you genuinely expect the reaction to be? Y'all cannot be that dense. Now, I do agree. I feel like some people are taking it just a little bit too far. At the end of the day, this is still a human being that lost their life just for the simple fact that their beliefs and their views are different than others. We are supposed to live in a country where we have the freedom to have these difference in opinions and still be safe. So in all, that is kind of a scary thought, in my opinion. The fact that his wife and his daughters had to witness that happen is horrifying. I don't wish that on anybody. But again, what did y'all honestly expect the reaction to be?
It has taken Charlie Kirk passing away for you to realize how evil this world is. I'm seeing so many people coming on the internet, on TikTok, crying, bawling, and shocked. We've had so many instances this year of children getting killed, just so many things happening. And it never occurred to you that at that time that the world was evil. But this specific death tells you that the world is evil. I don't understand this kind of empathy. I don't. I think empathy should be offered to everyone. And we don't have to wait for a public figure to pass away for you to say oh, this world is evil. This is terrible. If this is the only time you come in on the internet to say that, then something is wrong. If you not realizing that this world is evil because of Charlie Kirk passing away, then I don't know who your God is. But I think God has been showing that this world is evil for a long time.
I don't know if it's just me, you guys, but is everybody else taking this hard? I can't even go in the house, with my family, we had our own crisis, I am taking this hard because Charlie represents he represents so much to the conservative movement there's not a person they could have took from us that is more important besides maybe Trump or somebody like that. But that's how important that man is and has been. Just the way he died, doing what he loves, getting shot. For what? For what? What did he do? This is supposed to be America. This is not America. This is not the America I grew up in. It's not. The left has turned this into a scary place for people like me and others that just love our country, right? We're doing the best we can to love God, and Charlie was a man of God, man. The AmFest, he cannot be replaced, and they know this. That's why they came after. That's why he picked Charlie. It's hard for me. I mean, I've never met him. That's how you know when you've impacted the world, when your death makes people who never met you break down like you're your best, like we were sat at the table together. It's a devastating day.
What do you mean you're making fun of someone's very public, very broadcasted, very in front of his wife and kids' death just because they hold a different political opinion from you? Look, I don't agree with a lot of the things that this man has said, but if you're gonna hold him to that standard, hold yourself to that standard as well. Looking at it from a Christian perspective, we all deserve death. Spiritual death at that. We all deserve the same death that Jesus had. Except that's exactly why he came. When you think about John chapter 8 verse 7, Jesus said to all the men who were about to execute the adulterous woman, "Let who is without sin cast the first stone." It's either you're with sin or you're without sin. It's either you're perfect or you're imperfect. Jesus saved us from eternal torture, pain, and utter gruel. None of us deserve to be even breathing right now. If you think for 1 second that you can put yourself above that man with all your sins, my friend, you are highly mistaken. Some people will say, well, this sin is bigger than this sin. Sorry to break it to you. God sees all sin on the same level. He's looking at us from a bird's eye view, even bigger than a bird's eye view. It's all the same to him. So just because he bears a different political opinion than you does not mean that he deserves that death. And I know it's ironic because of his conservative views on guns. And like I said, I don't agree with the things he said on that matter. But to think that you're so much better than him, that you will joke about his death, that he died in front of his kids, in front of cameras, in front of a bunch of people, that's crazy.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I want to hear from you. How should Charlie Kirk be remembered? Is it as a leader, a controversial figure, or something else entirely? Or should he be remembered as a person who was against some various groups of people based on their racial, based on their sexuality, and also based on their religion? I want you to share your thoughts respectfully in the comment section. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification so that you won't miss the next video. Thanks again for watching this video. Take care and goodbye.